have a confession.
Please do it.
Dana is the only person I've ever received a gift from. Remember what you gave me?
Yes.
What?
Well, and it's very mutual. The watch.
Bro, he called me in Vegas one time, him and his old partners. Thought I was in trouble. They come and said, Dana wants to meet you. I was like, for what? Because we've been friends for a long time, never bother him. I'll call him once in a while to come to the event.
You don't like to ask for favors.
I don't. So but he kept saying, Dana wants to meet you. Dana wants to meet you. So I get in this room and it's him and his partner and they're talking. I'm like, okay, did I do something or say something wrong? And they give me this watch. I don't usually take it. That has so many diamonds in it, I had to take it. And you know what's crazy? I can't find that watch for nothing.
Oh, it got stolen?
No, it's like I got 10 houses. Like it's in one of my safes, and I cannot find that watch for anything. But yeah, him.
Well, what's the story?
Here's the story. He's being Shaq as usual. We didn't just say, hey, get Shaq over here and whatever. Shaq did a lot of very good things for us early on when we were trying to build the UFC. Much like Joe Rogan, there's the Joe Rogan story where Joe did the first 12 or 13 shows for free. So when we're launching The Ultimate Fighter Season 1, Shaq came in and laid down one of the baddest commercials for The Ultimate Fighter that you will ever see.
No buzzers, no checkered flags. In Ultimate Fighting, it only ends when the other guy is ready to break, when he has to tap out. I know. I've seen it up close. I've seen athletes fight till they have nothing left. Grown men begging for mercy. Who will be the next Ultimate Fighter? Now that I want to see.
And what's crazy is when we went in to film this, he did it in one take.
That's how he
So
is.
when you wonder why this dude's on 787,000 commercials, okay, he came in and just laid this thing down, one take on The Ultimate Fighter, and it was awesome.
I was going to ask you, was there a celebrity that showed up to a UFC fight where you went, wow?
So
and then is it Shaq?
Shaq was all over this thing out the gate from day one. He loved it. He was a fan. And being the unbelievable, amazing human being that he is, he came over and did that for us. So we didn't just, hey, Shaq, here's a watch. Shaq has always been an unbelievable friend, a big heart. Anything is never about, like, I'm late as hell to this podcast.
You're not late. Cut it out.
Late as hell.
No, you're not.
And I came in and I said, I'm sorry. I owe you big. And he's like, you owe me nothing, just friendship. You know how he is. You're around him. You know how he is. There's this clip that I just saw maybe 2 days ago on the it's so Shaq, it's unbelievable. So they got to be in Abu Dhabi, because sitting in the middle of them is my good friend Mohammed from Abu Dhabi, and Steve Harvey's on the end. Little kid comes by, shakes Steve Harvey's hand. He comes over to Shaq. Shaq grabs the kid and hugs him for a minute, and it's just like, that is what life is all about.
It is.
And that is what this dude is all about.
I want to clarify something. Do you know when I got introduced to the UFC?
When?
So I'm in Hawaii with the Lakers in training camp, and me and Uncle Jerome is walking, and the kid jumps on my back. Like, he jumps on my back. I'm getting ready to him up. It's Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, okay.
So he jumps on my back. He's like, no, I'm a fan of yours. We're doing this fight thing. Was that UFC 1?
No. Vitor Belfort was he was fighting in the UFC when he was 18.
Wow.
But what year was that? What year was that you were in?
I want to say.
So it's before 2004.
No, yeah. So I want to say 98, 99. But that's how I seen that sport. And then when I seen it, I fell in love with it. But that's the first time I see he jumped on my back, and I'm attempting to pick him up like I'm doing it. He's like, no, brother, no. And he had 2 tickets. He said, I want you to come to this fight. And he fought this big 7-foot dude in a cowboy suit.
Yeah, that wasn't UFC. That was some other event.
Okay, got it.
At the time, what you're talking about, you're not wrong. Hawaii was a hotbed for MMA, man. It was everybody out there trained, and, all those kids from Hawaii are scrappy little fighters, man. And there were lots of shows. So when we first bought the UFC, I used to fly to Hawaii like once a month because there were all kinds of shows there. We would go watch the shows.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, that totally makes sense.
I was listening to Shaq's good friend, Shannon Sharp's podcast that he did with you, and he was asking you about basketball players that could maybe do UFC, and of course, Shaq's name came up.
Yeah.
Could you even imagine if all of his energy as a youth had gone just to MMA, what this could have been?
100%. I mean, this maniac used to call me all the time. I'm telling you, Dana, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight in the UFC. I'm training. I said,
hey, I want to knock these
So he would just call you randomly and be like, I want to fight.
All the time. Or text me. He texts me all the time telling me. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I wrestled Forrest Griffin. Here it is right here. Undefeated champion, Godzilla Gorilla. I'll fight anybody in this building today.
I think me and Shaq are going to fight till the death.
I think Shaq going to take that W. Right? 2 Hall of Famers going right after.
Coming for you, Forrest. He's the strongest ever. I couldn't submit him. I don't know if he was taking it easy on me, but he couldn't submit me. But after that, I was sore.
What would you say was the peak of your powers? Like the strongest youthful, what year? 2000?
It's not about that. This is why
I had a follow-up, but okay.
This is why I started Shaq versus. Every guy sits on the couch and looks and says, I can do it. I'm 7'3", Of course I can fight Mighty Mouse. In my mind.
Yeah.
But I know when I get out there, he's going to, leg lock, submit and all that. So I like to fight, used to. And so like whenever I watch a UFC event, I always say, I think I can do it. I trained for it with my guy, John Burke out of Orlando. It actually helped me win 3 championships because when I trained for basketball and then had to go to the season and they would wrestle me, I would get tired. But when I trained wrestling, I was in shape and we won 3 years in a row. So every time I did my UFC training, I won.